Hello, Team BaseCamp. Hey, Coach Tim here with the weekly preview. Kind of an exciting week. It's hard to imagine we're actually into week 7 already. On the screen, I have the French fry 10 to 12 hour plan. We've been showing different athletes. Understand that there are 36 different plans. So each plan has a slightly different variation. So I want to kind of just show in the plan because there's something important happening here. So, one, I'll give you the good news. The good news is Monday is day 43, and we technically have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 more workouts before we start our taper, right? So you've really done a fair amount of the work. You've gotten through the system. Hopefully, you've been turning a lot of things green, and you're really ready for this final push. So I want to make this point because what we're doing, this is a technique called a compressed taper. And a compressed taper is a form of overreach and rest. So, what we're doing in these 8 days, and you kind of felt some of it last week as we're gearing in, we're we're leaning into the fitness you've gained over the previous 6 weeks to put in this little 8 day push. And really, it's 10 days because it goes back a little bit to last week. And this 10-day push is an overreach, right? If we think about the way we respond to exercise and exercise stimuli, if we're not always progressing, if we're not always pushing to the next level, we shouldn't expect more adaptation. So what we're doing here is we're compressing into this 8 day window, again, really a 10 day with last week, but compressing into an 8 day window and a robust overreach, give you a good push, some intensity, some tempo. Tempo is still aerobic. Intensity, I often, when I use that term, it's over FTP, over your threshold or anaerobic. We're going to mix a little bit of that work and compress it. But then we're going to taper and we're going to suddenly really lighten up the load and let your body just kind of flourish and respond quickly during that taper. Because this little push, big, alarm phase, you're kind of lighting up, you're waking up the system to this super next step hard work, then you're going to respond during the taper. Now, what does this week look like? Well, we have these 2 intensive days. We have a VO2 max work on Tuesday. Excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice. I've been doing videos. And then we have a longer VO2 max, 3 times 8 minutes. So right just above threshold on these. So in reality, those are your 2 intensive, harder days. Make sure you fuel well in advance. You go out and you really get after those workouts. In this little overreach, don't compromise the over threshold workouts. You actually have 3 of them because you have one more here. Actually, it is 4 of them. You have one more here. You want those to be your quality, right? Now, in between, we're doing a little more tempo work. You kind of noticed this sort of happening last week. And if you notice, the tempo work is really working on your versatile or your cadence versatility, right? Some low cadence into some high cadence into some low cadence. When you're on a gravel or when you're in a gravel event, when you're particularly on the RPI course, right? You need that cadence versatility. You've got to be able to make power in a range of cadences, or that demand can be overly fatiguing to you and cost you too much energy. Now, here's a little bit of rule this week. If you're a little extra fatigued and struggling, use the absolute lowest side of tempo, maybe even just high endurance, but focus on hitting the cadence number. We've got the hard workouts. We've got 4 hard workouts left, 2 this week, right? So the cadence is really just, the technical term is a neuromuscular manipulation to better prepare you for that performance. We don't need to hit top end. I mean, if you're feeling great and you're good in tempo, that's cool. Go for it. But if you're just like, I'm a little fatigued, it's okay this week because I really want that Tuesday, Saturday to be great to keep the power down a little low. Now, in reality, I always hate saying this, I guess, this next 8 workouts, 10 days, these are the most important section, right? So really, like, one of the challenges I have for you today, when you see this, schedule this week's workout. Like, literally go into your calendar, go into your scheduler and write out like, oh, I'm going to work out Tuesday morning from 8:30 to 10:30, or Tuesday evening 5:30 to 7:30, whatever that is. And I think it's or an hour 45, but you get my point. Commit this week, commit these next 10 days, right? And the best way to commit is put it on the calendar, have it come up like an event. I put my workouts in I do use Outlook. I put them in my Outlook calendar. I get little pop-ups reminding me that I need to go out and work out. That's a great way to get commitment. Any questions? Ask them below. Good luck this week.